Caitlin Clark that's setting out games, or is it the Indiana Fever making Caitlin Clark set out games? What are we doing?
What's going on? My name is Jax Riley, and I have spent weeks researching the digital trail on the Caitlin Clark case, narrative analysts. Furthermore, what I've discovered goes beyond basketball. It has to do with money, substantial sum of money. The kind of monetary sacrifice that only makes sense in extreme cases where a company is attempting to hide something. I've been making connections on the business side as other outlets speculate about coaching drama and groin problems. And you'll be astounded by what I discovered. In order to keep Caitlin Clark off the court, the Indiana Fever are voluntarily foregoing millions of dollars in revenue. During her absence, ticket prices are expected to plummet by 42%. 42%. Injury management isn't that. For the sake of organizational safety, that is financial suicide. This is what they overlooked, though. This goes beyond a single player becoming hurt. This concerns a franchise's strategic business choices, which only make sense when they're safeguarding something far more significant than a groin pain. Something for which millions of dollars could be lost. Stay tuned as we delve into the financial forensics that reveal the precise reason why the Fever are spending so much money to hide basketball's best star. You will comprehend why this reaches the highest levels of the WNBA establishment by the end of this inquiry.
Broke moments ago that Caitlin Clark will not be playing in tonight's game. I think Caitlin Clark should be kicking any down balls. Quite frankly, she should be rested.
I'll start by discussing the numbers that nobody else is bringing up. The average cost of an Indiana Fever ticket is $127 when Caitlin Clark is playing. Those same seats become $74 when she leaves. With each game she misses, the revenue drops by 42%. Here, we're not discussing slight declines in attendance. We are discussing the destruction of finances. This is where things become fascinating, though. Clark has now missed 13 games for the Fever this season. 13, let's calculate. Without Clark, the average home attendance is 8,500 spectators who purchase tickets for $74 each. That amounts to $629,000 in ticket sales for each game. With Clark, 17,000 fans paid $127 at the same location with the same seats. Each game is worth $2.1 million. $1.5 million for each home game is the difference. When you multiply that by the number of games she has missed, we're looking at losses for the franchise this season that are close to $20 million. $20 million. This excludes parking, snacks, merchandise, and sponsorship fees, all of which vanish when your best player isn't playing. This is the query that no one is posing. For a non-sitter, what catastrophe is worth $20 million to conceal? Because I have something to tell you. Businesses in good standing don't intentionally ruin their sources of income. They keep them safe. This implies that the value of keeping silent about whatever goes on behind the scenes in Indiana is greater than money. Although official sources won't tell you this, a different picture becomes apparent if you follow the digital breadcrumbs. This has nothing to do with medical caution. This relates to extensive damage control that necessitates monetary sacrifice.
Broke moments ago that Caitlin Clark will not be playing in tonight's game. I think Caitlin Clark should be kicking any down balls. Quite frankly, she should be resting.
Consequently, we arrive at Stephanie White. Because patterns that showed organizational crises and top-level management surfaced when I began using business forensics to analyze her press conferences. Take note of her guarded stance, broken phrases, and frequent allusions to holding things inside as she discusses Clark's predicament. Coaches don't talk about basic injury management like that. Organizational leaders handle PR catastrophes in this manner. She is not providing any updates on her health. She is in charge of damage control activities. I've been sorting through the cacophony of her public declarations, and the indications suggest something far more significant than basketball. You're not dealing with groin recovery in July when coaches begin discussing handling situations and enduring adversity. An institutional crisis is what you're dealing with. White's total inconsistency in injury treatments, however, is the most telling piece of evidence. When Clark suffered injuries earlier in the season, they threw her back on the floor right away. No conditioning, no practice time, just make sure she's healthy enough. Not even the slightest caution. Suddenly, the organization has turned into medical perfectionists, even though ESPN's Holly Rowe reported that experts discovered no more damage in Clark's most recent tests. Timelines for the third week of August, rhythm development, and extended practice requirements. The tone of the internet discussion indicates that medical advancement is not the reason for this significant procedure change. The goal is to purchase time. What is the time for? That is the purpose of our visit.
What kind of a clown show league are we dealing with here? I mean, is this a WNBA problem or a fever problem? You didn't give her any practice or ramp up time last time? Didn't give her any practice or ramp up time last time?
This is where things get extremely heated since specialists in the sports industry have begun to refer to this situation as a clown show. They're correct, too. Organizational inquiries ought to be initiated based solely on the financial malfeasance. What the other outlets won't tell you, though, is this. There is a timetable for this clown show, and that timeline is closely related to the most costly cover-up in WNBA history, the case of Dana Bonner. Recall that Bonner quit the Fever for personal reasons after 9 games. She was waived on June 25th for personal reasons, and on July 8th, she signed a contract with the Phoenix Mercury. That isn't how players usually move. That's crisis management for organizations. Can you identify which game the Fever desperately wanted to stay out of the news? Phoenix Mercury, the game of retribution. The drama magnet that would have sparked uneasy inquiries about what actually transpired in that locker room, a great deal of media attention and fan speculation. They therefore performed a commercial calculation. Give up the money. Clark should be kept out. Stay out of the commotion because, based on ticket sales, whatever happened when Bonner left was reportedly worth more than $2 million to remain quiet. Social media forensics has been helping me piece things together, and the narrative around the Bonner case exposes organizational instability that extends far beyond differences over basketball. We are discussing the safeguarding of institutional legitimacy, which necessitates that their greatest asset stay strategically concealed.
You're coming back in about a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks. Give it about 2 weeks, bro. I think.
However, this is where the investigation becomes quite intriguing. Timeline forecasts from independent sports analysts are wholly at odds with corporate propaganda. A maximum of 1 to 2 weeks is advised for this kind of damage, according to medical professionals, even though the Fever is pushing back the return dates to the third week of August. The clearest indication that this isn't a medical recovery issue is the discrepancy between expert analysis and organizational deadlines. This has to do with crisis management and strategic positioning, which calls for prolonged absences regardless of physical preparedness. Furthermore, it is astounding how much money must be sacrificed in order to preserve this continuity. The organization loses almost $3 million in direct revenue each week when Clark is absent. Not to mention the ripple effects on franchise market value, sponsorship appraisals, and season ticket renewals. However, the fact that they are prepared to pay it reveals everything about what they are defending.
I don't think it's any secret that we're going to have to expand the footprint, and we're going to have to put a little bit more cadence.
More information about this cover-up operation can be found in Stephanie White's most recent organizational statements. She is discussing adding cadence between games and growing the footprint. That's corporate jargon for, we made a mistake earlier and are now putting damage control procedures in place. Here's the problem, though. Medical advancement is not the goal of those enlarged guidelines. They have to do with controlling the narrative. Every extra practice day they want, every additional medical consultation they insist on, and every careful comment they make are all intended to prolong this period of time until the crisis they're handling blows over. The consequences for business are disastrous. The availability of star players affects franchise valuations. Choosing to voluntarily cut off your main source of income for non-medical reasons under the cover of medical need is tantamount to financial fraud against your own stakeholders.